I'm Savannah Martin.
And I'm Sam Thompson.
Coming up on Colts Connections, we will be taking a look at student mental health, the design lab, and our very own student-run newspaper.
Our first issue today is on student mental health. Reporter Addison Henkel brings us a story featuring EJHS staff, students exploring important topics.
Mental health. Everyone struggles with it. Everyone has it. So let's talk about it.
What have you noticed has affected students' mental health?
I think a lot of things go into students' mental health and just mental health of people in general. COVID has been a really big one lately. We're very social beings, so being isolated and just not having our normal routine has been really hard for people. Also, just the panic of the world and the worry that everybody had, and just the lingering mental health effects that are happening. I think that's a normal response to something huge that was going on in the world.
COVID tends to be a big struggle. With everyone separated and not being able to have close contact with other people, our mental health can decline.
Peers, just the interactions with peers, whether that's friendships or bullying, or just how we are with people in our life.
Mental health is different. That's why it's so important that everyone understands how challenging it really is, no matter your age. A few of our interviewees talked about how adults tend to push off what they say about their mental health, using the comments of, "you're just sad," or "you just want attention." These sayings can be detrimental to students and create a chain reaction of terrible things.
There's a lot of resources in the school that you can reach out to, like your teachers, any of the support faculty here, the principals, and then we have our SEL team, which is myself and the social worker, and then we have our counselors, Ms. Straw and Ms. Schlemmer.
Along with the downsides of mental health, there are a few outreaches for students that are struggling. There are hotlines and other sources. Please, if you are struggling, tell someone you trust so you can get the help you need. You are not alone.
Life experiences like trauma and abuse, our family interactions can all impact mental health, like the pressures that you have in school.
Our school counselor, Ms. Laughlin, was generous enough to give us a few resources that can help. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline can be reached at 800-273-8255, and the Trevor Project, which works with at-risk LGBTQ youth, can be reached at 212-695-8650. With this section coming to a close, we at Edge Media would like to give you one last final reminder. You are not alone, and it is okay to not be okay.
For our next story, we will be taking a look at our very own design lab. Reporter Hope Sinyard, tell us all about what happens there.
One of our newest additions to the EJHS school is our up-and-running design lab.
We are starting the design club to give students who have an interest in making and creating and designing a place and a chance to do things that may not fit as part of their everyday curriculum or part of an assignment that they have been given, but something that gives them a little bit more freedom to design and create from their own kind of inspirations. The motive for making the design lab was to enable kids to be able to make solutions to problems. So we wanted students to be able to take what they're learning in all of their different subject areas, and as they are designing whatever it is that might be a solution to whatever problem that they're trying to solve or situation that they're trying to understand more, we wanted them to have all of the tools and options available to them to be able to make that a reality.
We use a variety of tools for different assigned tasks in the design lab.
Amazing opportunity that we have for some different types of learning. I love that I see my students learning and using skills that they don't typically get to use, whether that's 3D printers or miter saws, whatever it might be. Those are things we cannot do in a traditional classroom. So it just really gives a different perspective of learning, a different opportunity for learning.
Different sections of the design lab are for different purposes. Here's our workshop.
One of the things that, as we went through the Ready Schools process, was we were looking for ways to create opportunities for students to develop what we call employability skills. And so we felt like through the design lab process, we were creating an opportunity for students to learn to collaborate, to create, to be able to communicate their ideas, and not necessarily just a traditional classroom setting, but an opportunity to work on things outside of a traditional setting, where they're able to use their own creativity to communicate their purpose. So it's been really neat to see, even dating back to last year, early on when it was open. It's been busy since the time we've opened it up, and the things that have been produced through that space has been really neat. So yeah, I think it's been an awesome addition to EJHS.
And finally, this is where our brainstorming takes place. And that's our Design Lab, Colts. This is Hope Sinyard from Colts Connect.
Next up, our very own student-run newspaper, Colts Chronicles reporter Lily Martin explains how the newspaper runs so successfully.
Everyone's heard of the new online newspaper called Colts Chronicles.
Colts Chronicles started about 2 years ago when Mr. Anspal and I first started teaching here, and we just had the idea of something fun to do with our honors class that he had started at one of his previous schools, and so we decided to make it as like a side project with our honors kids, and then this year they allowed us to have our own class, and so each one of us have a section for the school newspaper.
So we meet like a regular class, so throughout the week, and then we try to publish an issue every week, though sometimes it might be like every other week or so.
The kids actually pick their own topics, and so we give them 5 sections. They have breaking news, editorials, features, sports, and entertainment, and then they are assigned to a section and they just pick their own topics, and most of the time we approve them and let them write whatever they want to write about.
Colts Chronicles is very fun. It's not like your typical class where you're just learning things, writing things down, and keeping everything in a notebook or on a computer. You're actually being assigned a section, and then you pick a topic, and then you write about it, and it goes on a newspaper.
Colts Chronicles happens so the school can know about topics going on in the world and the community.
What do you do for Colts Chronicles?
Well, I kind of help oversee the whole process. We've got 7th graders and 8th graders who work as our editors and are kind of leaders of groups. And so they are kind of like the middlemen between our 6th grade writers and me. 6th graders report to 7th and 8th graders how they're doing on their progress, and then 7th and 8th graders talk to me.
It's once you're done writing, you can take a job to either do marketing and advertise the website, or you can do layout.
Go check out coltschronicles.com. This is Lily Martin.
Finally, reporter Mason Pardue brings us a brilliant story about our Design Lab Club and all the things you can learn there.
Many of the kids here at Edgewood Junior High are enjoying the brand new Design Lab. We are here today to tell you what all the hype is about.
The Design Lab was created last year during the summer, so this year it is available to students. Mrs. Scott is the teacher of the Design Lab, and Mr. Gallagher teaches the Design Lab's class. We interviewed a couple students like Galen Williams, Gabby Day, and Kate Knopf to hear their input on the brand new Design Lab.
All the time. So I love being able to work with all of the students here at the junior high. I love to be able to see their creativity and their pieces that they're coming together with, and we just have such a wide range of options that kids can use here in the lab that is really neat to see. I want to be able to use this space to tie into all of the different subject areas and curriculum in our school. So
we wanted to give them an opportunity to get down into the lab and work on some things that they were interested in, and so that's kind of what sparked it, was just giving kids a chance to get down there and do stuff if that's what they wanted to do.
I think I just like building things, I guess. Probably the laser cutter. I like watching it, I think. It's really cool.
When we're in the Design Lab, it's a space that you can move around and you just get to work more productively with your team members.
I understand what all the hype of the Design Lab is about, because it is amazing. This is Mason Pardue for Colts Connection.
To wrap up our newscast today, a joke of the week. Why do you tell an actor to break a leg?
I don't know why.
Because every cast has a play.
Every play has a cast.